Fox News rating continued to plummet since they let Tucker Carlson go. On today's show, I want to talk about the situation between Tucker Carlson and Fox News and the aftermath. Welcome back to Passionate Take. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you take a second and hit the subscribe button. When I saw it came across the wire that Tucker Carlson has been let go from Fox News, I was stunned. Here you have an individual that garnered almost 4 million views a night. And Rupert Murdoch, the owner of Fox News, benefited greatly having Tucker Carlson on Primetime. People tune in to watch Carlson's monologue. More than any other shows, we know it's the Primetime shows that bring in the money for that network. And Carlson was doing that better than everybody else. You look at MSNBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, there was nobody that garnered more of an audience and support than Tucker Carlson. And previously to Carlson being let go from Fox News, you knew that they were in a lawsuit with Dominion. Fox News settled a $787 million lawsuit against Dominion, and boom, Tucker Carlson was let go from the network. Now, before that, we see some text message that was released by the media about Tucker Carlson and how he would talk to some of his producers, people that work on his show, and his feelings towards Donald Trump, where in one text, I remember specifically, it says, Carlson hates Donald Trump passionately, and he wished Donald Trump wasn't in the news. He didn't have to cover him. Okay? So Carlson's supporter, I'm sure they were taken back by this text message by Tucker Carlson sent to his producers. But what I noticed from Tucker Carlson is one of Trump's lawyer, staunchest supporter, Sidney Powell, says she has evidence of election fraud in the state of Arizona, in Georgia. Carlson went on his show and he mentioned all these things about what he thought of the election. And I know a lot of people in America, we were wondering we were still in COVID at that time. And we are not just dealing with a midterm, we were dealing with the presidential election. So this election has huge consequences on the American people. And here's, you have Tucker Carlson coming out and mentioning all these things. But what he also did was he's extended an olive branch to Trump's lawyers, and especially Sidney Powell. If she has all these evidence of election fraud, he wanted to give her the come on his show and present this evidence to his audience. And just think about that for a second. Here you have a lawyer that is arguing, that is clamoring, telling the American people, and there will be news outlets that cover her during the day. But during the day, we know that there are people, they are either at school, they're at work, they're doing other things. But the news network that covers Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, all these people, Carlson, his show was on Primetime. He was willing to extend an olive branch to Sidney Powell, let her come on the network and present the evidence. So why would you not take him up on that offer? His audience is almost 4 million a night. Think about that for a second. Other network, other primetime hosts, if they get even 800,000, a million a night, that's great. But Carlson has a different standard. People tune in to Tucker Carlson because she pushed the envelope. In fact, what Sidney Powell said was Tucker Carlson and his staffer were being really negative towards her. All they did was they extended an invitation for her to come on his show on Primetime, Fox News, and present the evidence. He was willing, later on, he was willing to give her a week of his show for her to present this evidence. She never took him up on the offer. And I mentioned this on Passionate Take. Tucker Carlson was the only individual to condemn Sidney Powell because he extended her an offer to her multiple times to come on his show, not just on Fox News, on his show, to present the evidence, and she never did. And now what you see Fox News is doing is you see his son, Lachlan Murdoch, and also Fox CEO Suzanne Scott come out and said that this was their decision. Rest assured, okay, they are falling on the sword, especially Lachlan Murdoch. He is falling on the sword for his dad, Rupert. This was Rupert's decision. It was a very unpopular decision. Any way you slice it, any way you look at it, okay? People tune into Fox News to watch Carlson, to watch Tucker. There is no doubt about that. I don't care how you spin it. People that are conservative know this for a fact. People that are moderate, even liberal, would have to concede the fact that during primetime, as much of an audience as MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, or Anderson Cooper from CNN, there is nobody that garnered more of an audience, more support than Tucker Carlson. So when Rupert Murdoch decided to let Carlson go, it was a bad decision on his part. And he knows this. It's about bringing in people that to watch his channel, to watch the news, but also if Murdoch is banking on the fact that he's trying to get sponsored from certain corporations that are not willing to buy into Fox News because of one Tucker Carlson, I think Rupert Murdoch is making a huge miscalculation here. Because ever since Carlson was let go from the network, you see the people that have filled in for him. For example, Brian Kilmeade, he was also on Fox and Friends, Lawrence Jones, and recently, Kayleigh McEnany. They are not Carlson. They are not able to get back the Fox supporter, and there has been more calling for more boycott Fox News than I have ever heard before in the past. Because this is, the American people, especially conservative in the United States, are outraged by this decision. What could have prompted Rupert Murdoch to let go of Tucker Carlson? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why I didn't come on this show and do it right away. I have mentioned it in certain clips that I've done, but I have not really go deep into this issue because I really wanted to take time, sit back and think about this for a second. I don't understand why Rupert Murdoch decides to do this. And now they're coming out with all these clips on Media Matter about how Tucker Carlson, behind the scenes, and some of his female employees, some of the people that work specifically on his show, he would make sexist comments towards them. And really trying to paint Carlson in a negative light. Hey Fox, that's failing. The American people are not buying it, okay? There have been, and I can share with you, there have been many times where we see hosts on MSNBC, CBS, CNN, where they're, once the record button is off, it's no longer red, these people would degrade their co-workers, they would tear into them. So the fact that Carlson says some of these things and Rupert, maybe he supported the leaking, the constantly slow leaking of Tucker Carlson making these sexist comments or saying comments that he doesn't wish to be aired because that's behind the scene information to paint him in a negative light so that the viewer, the people that support Tucker would come back to the network. It's not working. The American people are rejecting this because if that was the case, the network should have done much better since his release, since he's being let go from the network. That has not been the case. You see Donald Trump now is not even on the show, and recently he was on with CNN doing a town hall. For those people that rejected that, I know the liberal, the left in the media like to reject that. That was great for democracy. That was great for democracy, what we saw. And they say, oh, well, how could the network have done this? How could they let Donald Trump, CNN, the liberal outrage, how could they let Donald Trump go on a network, go on CNN and spew lies after lie after lie? Well, you know what? Here's the thing, right? How about Joe Biden go on Fox News? I'm not saying he would do an interview with Sean Hannity, where Hannity would grill. How about do it with Martha McCallum? For those of you who watch on my show, leave a comment. How about Joe Biden, and I know there are liberals, also conservative, that watch my show, also moderates, how about Joe Biden go on and do a town hall with Martha McCallum for an hour and 30 minutes? But I just want to mention, Tucker Carlson will be fine wherever he goes because his audience knows that he is all for preserving the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And people have the right to choose the network they want to watch, just like you have the right to choose which show you tune in on to watch. And I hope that you choose Passionate Take. And those of you who already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. But like I said, we need to be able to have civil discourse in our country. Tucker is now in talk, and he's going to start a show on Twitter. Any show, anything that Tucker does, clearly he's going to get his audience. It will jump right to the top, being the #1 show wherever he lands. Okay, because an individual with that kind of talent, with the support of the base that he has, just like Donald Trump, Tucker has his supporter, and they will follow him wherever he is at. And now people are just waiting for him to start his new show and stop this shenanigan at Fox and the constantly leaking of trying to paint Tucker in a bad light. Like I said, at this point, Fox is falling on deaf ears. Nobody's listening. Nobody's paying attention. You have the daytime where they run news stories. Okay, at nighttime, it's Tucker, it's Hannity, it's Ingram. Okay, but the reason why, and Hannity and Ingram should thank Tucker for this, people that tune into his show, there's a reason why he goes before them, because those people stay for their show. They don't tune in for Hannity and for Ingram. They tune in for Tucker Carlson's monologue, and they benefit from it. Okay? Like I said, give me your thoughts on what you think. Did Fox News made a huge mistake by letting Tucker Carlson walk out the door? Unless something drastically changed, people are going to tune into other news stations to get their news, and they are going to feel that Fox News was already treated President Trump unfairly in the 2020 presidential election, calling Arizona before any other network called that state for Joe Biden. This is not going to play well with the conservative base. They know that Rupert Murdoch, he was in the one camp. He was by himself over here, Fox News, where CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS are all in one camp. Now, people are no longer looking at it that way, because when you treat the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and you call him the state of Arizona so quickly, so early on in that state, and now you let go of the #1 cable talk show host, this is truly a great awakening for Rupert Murdoch. And like I said, their rating is not going to rebound anytime soon. But I want to hear your thoughts.